In every age, nature crowns a ruler, a creature so fearsome, so perfectly adapted, that it defines the era itself. To most of us, that image is easy to summon. The tyrant lizard king, its jaws dripping rain, its eyes gleaming with intelligence and hunger. For decades, Tyrannosaurus rex has stood unchallenged as the apex of prehistoric power, the ultimate predator of the ancient world. But what if that title belongs to another? What if the true king of prehistory existed long before the dinosaurs, and in ways far more terrifying? The story begins not in the Cretaceous, but nearly 200 million years earlier, in a world unrecognizable to ours. The continents were merging into a single superland known as Pangaea, its interior scorched by heat and monsoons. Life was clawing its way through chaos after the greatest extinction in Earth's history, the one that ended the Permian. 90% of all living things had perished, leaving the planet's ecosystem shattered. Yet from the ashes of that catastrophe, a new lineage of predators emerged, creatures that would rule with precision and power unmatched by anything that followed. In this desolate landscape, the top hunter was not a dinosaur but something far older, a synapsid, an ancestor not of reptiles but of us. Its name was Gorgonops, a creature of contradictions, both primitive and advanced. It walked with the posture of a mammal yet bore the saber-like teeth of a nightmare. Its skull was elongated, its jaws braced by muscle that could crush bone. When it opened its mouth, its canines gleamed like daggers forged by evolution's hand. It was the first animal capable of true sustained predation on land, a master of its world, long before Tyrannosaurus rex was even an idea in time. The Permian world it ruled was both lush and deadly. Fern forests and swampy deltas stretched under a sun that burned hotter than ours. Rivers cut through red deserts, where amphibians the size of crocodiles lurked in muddy pools. Herds of dicynodonts, stocky-tusked plant-eaters, moved cautiously across plains, watched by eyes hidden among rocks and brush. And from the shadows, Gorgonops would strike, silent until the last second, its saber teeth plunging deep before a final shudder of victory. Fossils tell us that Gorgonops was not alone in its reign. Across the continents, an entire dynasty of apex hunters evolved. Species like Inostrancevia with skulls nearly 2 feet long, or Rubigia whose bite rivaled modern lions. These were the prototypes of future predators, testing every weapon nature could devise: speed, endurance, stealth, and the first hints of warm-blooded metabolism. They hunted in ecosystems that were still healing from apocalypse, where every adaptation was an edge, and every mistake meant extinction. But even kings can fall. Around 252 million years ago, Earth changed again in ways beyond comprehension. The planet's surface split open in Siberia, releasing oceans of lava and gases that poisoned the air and turned seas to acid. Temperatures soared, oxygen levels plummeted. The great synapsid hunters suffocated and vanished, their fossils entombed in red beds of ash and sand. Their rule had lasted millions of years, but the throne of the land was empty once more. It would take tens of millions of years before new apex predators rose, and this time they were different. The Triassic world that followed was a laboratory of forms, creatures half reptile, half experiment. Out of this chaos came the first dinosaurs, small and quick, not yet rulers but opportunists. Yet even they had competition. In the river plains of what is now Tanzania, a creature named Smilasuchus reigned supreme. With jaws like crocodiles and armor down its back, it could crush anything in its path. The dinosaurs were not yet the masters, they were prey. Then came the next claimant to the throne. During the late Triassic and early Jurassic, the first true giant carnivores appeared. Dilophosaurus, with its twin crests and slicing claws, hunted in packs along floodplains. Later, in the heart of the Jurassic, arose Allosaurus, the first great land predator with a modern build. It had binocular vision, muscular legs, and a tail balanced for rapid lunges. Fossilized bone beds show that Allosaurus fed in groups, perhaps coordinating attacks on sauropods that towered above them. It was intelligent, strategic, and ruthless. And yet, the crown still shifted. In the oceans, other monsters claimed dominion. The ichthyosaurs, shaped like torpedoes, ruled with speed. Pliosaurs, with jaws large enough to shear through bone, ruled with brute force. Kronosaurus and Leopleurodon dominated the seas, devouring sharks, fish, and even other marine reptiles. Fossilized bite marks show they fed in violent frenzies, leaving bones shattered in patterns that still shock paleontologists. For a time, it seemed every era had its apex. The throne passed from predator to predator like a torch carried through deep time. But when the Cretaceous began, evolution produced something new. In the swamps of South America and the floodplains of Asia, theropods grew to monstrous proportions. Spinosaurus prowled the deltas, half aquatic, half land-bound, its crocodile snout packed with conical teeth. Giganotosaurus stalked the plains of Argentina, its jaws longer than a human is tall. And of course in North America, Tyrannosaurus rex rose at last, closing the lineage of terrestrial titans. Tyrannosaurus rex was a masterpiece of predatory design. Its skull combined crushing power with sensory precision. Its eyes faced forward for depth perception. Its sense of smell was one of the most refined in history. When it bit, its force exceeded any known land animal. Its teeth could crush through bone, leaving behind fossils still scarred with puncture marks. But even its reign was brief. 66 million years ago, an asteroid ended the Cretaceous age in fire, wiping out 3/4 of all species. Yet the story of the apex does not end there. After the dust settled, the survivors, small mammals, began their slow rise. They inherited a world stripped of reptiles and filled with opportunity. In the Miocene epoch, tens of millions of years later, new monsters emerged. Andrewsarchus, a wolf-faced giant, thundered across coastal plains in Asia, its jaws capable of cracking turtle shells. In Africa, Hyaenodon, with a skull longer than a lion's torso, became the terror of its age. They were descendants not of dinosaurs, but of the same lineage as humans, a reminder that the capacity for domination never truly vanished. And then came a creature that redefined what it meant to rule. In the late Pleistocene, only tens of thousands of years ago, the short-faced bear, Arctodus simus, stood taller than any predator before it. At nearly 4 meters upright, it could run faster than a horse and smell prey kilometers away. It patrolled Ice Age plains with confidence, unchallenged by wolves or saber-toothed cats. It was, in every sense, an apex reborn. But here lies the deeper truth. In the history of life, the title of apex predator has never been permanent. Each era's king is just a chapter, a brief moment in an endless cycle of evolution and extinction. The fossils tell us that supremacy is always temporary. For every predator that dominates, there is a changing climate, a shifting prey, or an unforeseen catastrophe waiting to dethrone it. The true ruler of prehistory, then, may not be a single animal, but evolution itself. The rocks record this silent law. In the Permian beds of Russia, you find the fangs of Gorgonops. In the Jurassic layers of Utah, the serrated teeth of Allosaurus. In Cretaceous sandstones, the crushed bones left by Tyrannosaurus rex. In the Ice Age sediments of Alaska, the massive paw prints of Arctodus. Each fossil is a coronation stone, evidence of a ruler now turned to dust. And yet, each also carries the blueprint of what would come next. Modern science continues to uncover contenders for the title. Deep sea fossils reveal apex predators from even older times, giant eurypterids, the sea scorpions that ruled before fish had jaws. In the Devonian, Dunkleosteus crushed its prey with armored plates instead of teeth. In the Ordovician, strange cephalopods with spiral shells hunted with tentacles before sharks existed. These creatures remind us that dominance on Earth is older, stranger, and more diverse than any single name could capture. Paleontologists studying the biomechanics of ancient predators find patterns repeating through time. Saber teeth, recurved claws, forward-facing eyes, all have evolved and vanished again and again. Evolution reuses what works. The same tools that armed Gorgonops reappeared in Smilodon. The same balance between speed and strength seen in Tyrannosaurus rex echoes in modern lions. Every new apex is built on the bones of the last. If we step back far enough, we begin to see the hidden order. There is no single apex predator of all time, only a succession of experiments, some born from catastrophe, others undone by it. The title King of Prehistory belongs not to a creature of muscle and tooth, but to the process that forged them all. Evolution itself is the architect of dominance. Still, it is hard not to imagine the awe of witnessing these rulers in life. Picture a Permian plain at dusk, a Gorgonops stalking through crimson dust, its saber teeth glinting. A Jurassic Valley, echoing with the cries of Allosaurus hunting in packs. a Cretaceous floodplain trembling under the footsteps of Tyrannosaurus rex. And finally, the frozen silence of an Ice Age dawn where Arctodus lifts its head, steaming breath rising in the cold air. Each one a sovereign of its time, each one doomed to fall. Even now, the cycle continues. Today, humans stand as Earth's apex predator, not through tooth or claw, but through intellect. We have reshaped ecosystems, conquered climates, and bent the course of evolution itself. Yet history warns us that no rule lasts forever. The same forces that erased Gorgonops and Tyrannosaurus rex are still at work. Climate shifts, resource collapse, extinction, the world turns, and the throne remains empty for whoever or whatever comes next. In the end, to uncover the true king of prehistory is to confront a mirror. The power to dominate, to destroy, to adapt. These traits have passed from species to species across 500 million years. Each held the crown for a time. Each fell. And in that endless rotation lies the real story of life on Earth. Not the triumph of one predator, but the relentless drive of evolution to test, refine, and begin again. Perhaps that is the ultimate revelation of prehistory's forgotten kings. Every apex predator, from the saber-faced Gorgonops to the bone-crushing Tyrannosaurus rex, was merely evolution's latest experiment. Their bones remind us that power is fleeting, and that survival, not supremacy, is the real prize. So when we ask who ruled the ancient world, the answer is both simple and profound. The throne of prehistory never had one king. It was shared, passed down, and reborn through fire, ice, and time. And if we listen closely, the stones themselves still whisper their names.